Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel. So if you've got a character here, the controller, it comes with a controller sensor, and in the controller sensor tab, tweak menu, there's a camera properties tab, and if we go to a large camera distance and a small field of view, then it feels like we're very 2D and you get kind of an isometric feel. But if we kind of lock it to one side using a camera pointer in the cameras tab, you can grab things with, even if they're like skew if you grab it and press triangle, then it will put it to a 90-degree angle on the grid. So like I'll put it this way and triangle, and now it's locked onto perfectly on the side. So now if I put this character here, for example, then it feels like we're just side on, but we can still control forwards and backwards. If I possess the thing, I'm still moving forwards and backwards. So if you want to have a 2D controls for it as well, if you tweak the puppet itself, you can turn on 2D movement. And now it will be 2D movement. And I think I'll make it a little less distant so that we can see the character a bit bigger on the screen, sort of thing. Okay. In a normal camera, so distance would be just like moving it back, but then field of view, oh yeah, it's up and down on here. So making the field of view smaller kind of zooms into a particular spot in the center. So it just makes that part of the thing fill the screen, sort of thing. And that's what kind of makes it feel flat, is because we're zooming in a lot. But then because we're zooming in a lot, we want to be further away. We also saw the sky kind of fade through the sculpts and things. That's because it's very far away, and the sky starts to, things become transparent as they get further away from the camera, effectively, depending on the fog range. So if we max out the fog range to 50,000 meters, then you won't get the sky fading through it. And so that's like the beginning of a 2D game. So if I push up and slightly left, it'll kind of face the right way, but move really slowly. So you might want to change that a bit so that the speed you go is dependent on how much you push the stick. So if I'm pushing with the stick all the way and slightly left, it will go full left like that. And if I push the stick all the way and go slightly right, it will go full right like that. So for that, we need to kind of mess with what goes into this walk. This walk is the actual direction that this is trying to walk. But if I'm pushing up, it's actually trying to walk away from the camera, which is over here. But because it's got the 2D mode on, it's not allowed to do that. So it just stays put or moves really slowly. So we need to instead give it a walk input of only left and right. So if we get the left stick local, then it won't be based on the camera directions and stuff. And then we can wire that into a splitter. Left stick local into a splitter. That gives us the left and right, and that's what we want. But we also want to know how much we're pushing the stick in general. So we need to wire that into this over here. And then if we use L1 and X, we can change this wire blend mode to modulate, which multiplies the wire by this number. So if we set it to 1, it won't affect it. But what it also does is turn this fat wire into a thin wire. And when a fat wire turns into a thin wire, it uses some specific way, a specific value based on the actual value going through the fat wire. This is a stick value, a stick fat wire. So it will give us how much we're pushing the stick, and then we'll multiply it by 1. and then we'll multiply this X by how much we're pushing the stick. So this is just left or right, and this is how much we're pushing the stick, and then we'll turn that into a new stick value that we make ourselves with a combiner with just the X set, and the Y won't be changing at all. So now, so right, left, if I push up and slightly left, it's doing the same thing because this has got a very small value still, because we're pushing mostly up and only a tiny bit left. So we want to kind of make this huge with a signal manipulator, and we'll map the normal range, or we'll map from a very small range basically. So if you're only going left 0.01, then it'll max it out into 1 again, and we'll just use this to clamp the value, so the output won't be less than 0 or more than 1. And then we'll multiply that by how much we're pushing the stick. We want the negative values to work as well, so from negative 0.01, and that goes to the same range. Should be right. Yeah, so now if I push straight up, it's not moving anywhere because it's got 0 on the X left and right. And if I push up and slightly left, then it's running full left and full right and so on. So that has a more like arcadey solid feel to it.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.